Hey, listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
Welcome to our technically 7th anniversary show. We've been doing this for 7 years now, but we're going to leave the celebration. For once, we're actually going to celebrate it, but we're going to do that next week. And this week, we're actually going to do our WrestleMania preview, our NXT sort of special match preview. We're going to get that out of the way now before potentially too many spoilers hit the world. So we're living in this weird world where WrestleMania is being pre-taped. It's going like potentially multiple locations, but should be closed sets. So hopefully nothing leaks, but there's a chance that some stuff might get out. But we're going to preview it all before it does. First up, we're actually going to start with NXT. So NXT, it's not officially announced yet, but we're pretty sure we're going to see a Velveteen Dream Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. Is it time for the Dream to take the big title?
I feel it is. The man has been built and built and built. They got to run with the North American title. And it seems like as soon as you win that, unless your name is Ricochet, you're winning the NXT title not long after you lose it.
Okay.
Because if your name is Ricochet, you get shipped off to the main roster.
That's fair. Obviously, Velveteen Dream had a bit of a hiccup with injuries and stuff, but it looks like he's back and he's full steam ahead. So I think you're right. I think he'll be heading towards the big title. And then if we switch our intentions over, you just mentioned the North American Championship. Well, there's 3 men who are currently vying for that. Obviously, Keith Lee, still the North American champion at the moment, but Dominik Dijakovic is coming after him still, and Damian Priest has joined the fray. And those 3 men will be having a triple threat next week for the North American title.
I expect Keith Lee to retain the title because I don't think either one that's chasing him right now is going to be the guy that takes the title off of him to set him free to go off after the NXT Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I think the man that's going to take the title, the North American title, hasn't debuted yet. At least that I know of.
That's fair.
For all I know, they may have debuted him on NXT this week, and I wouldn't know. But I think Killer Cross, whatever they call him, and will be the guy that will eventually take down Keith Lee, at least for that particular title.
So you're safe, luckily. The main event of NXT this week involved Triple H talking to Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, setting up a match that we'll talk about in just a little bit. But at the end of said segment, we saw a Killer Cross promo pop up on the big screen, but he did not physically debut just yet. So in the coming weeks, he might though. So Ciampa Gargano. Triple H has laid down an edict on the April 8th edition of NXT. They will fight. They will fight one more time. And this is it. If they engage again following this one more fight, they will both be gone from NXT.
Yeah, it's good old-fashioned empty arena match.
To be fair, there's a lot of those lately, but yeah.
This should be an insane match, and I think it'll pull a big number for NXT because I think a lot of people want to see closure to this feud.
Yeah, this is a feud that's been going on for a real long time, and it does need some closure now. I think it's potentially overrun because of injuries, a little bit further than they expected it to go, but we'll see who comes out on top. Do you think?
Yeah, I think it was supposed to have ended last year, but then Tommaso Ciampa got his neck injured and had to have surgery, and they had to pull a 360 on their plans real quick.
Yeah.
And move in a different direction. So yeah, I would suspect that because of the alignments now, I would expect Ciampa to win.
Okay.
Even though, in all actuality, that would make him like 3-1 in the feud or something like that.
Okay. And then the last thing we've got to talk about real quick before we run off is that there's a second chance gauntlet match next week for the women's ladder match. Xia Li, Shotzi Blackheart, Dakota Kai, and everyone else, Deonna Purrazzo, Aaliyah, who all lost their match, get one more chance to join said ladder match.
Didn't I say something like that when you were moaning about Dakota Kai losing her match?
That is correct. Grady is happy.
Yeah, so Dakota Kai will win this match.
And then that leads us into the number one contendership ladder match that now features Candice LeRae, Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai, if she makes it through, and... I keep forgetting her name. Chelsea Green. I'm forgetting her WWE name. And final competitor that qualified this week, Io Shirai.
Well, let's see here. We're assuming, and I know that's a dangerous thing to do. We're assuming that coming out of WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley will still be the champion.
Yeah.
So I think that eliminates a couple of options right away. Because like Candice LeRae and Tegan Nox.
Mm-hmm.
I think that eliminates them right away. So I'm gonna go with because I think it'd be an interesting match, and I'm gonna break your heart in the process while I'm doing it. I'm gonna go with the Io Shirai.
You know what? I'm actually kind of down for that. I think Io Shirai is going to be the one to pick up the win there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind Dakota Kai versus Kira Ripley, but I'm not sure it's the right time for it.
Yeah, I think Kai Nox still has some fuel in the tank, and they should probably finish that journey. Alright, it is time to crack into some WrestleMania 36 matches. Let's talk about some matches that have just been randomly put together this week. We know that Elias will be taking on King Corbin.
Yeah, it should be an interesting undercard match. I mean, you have Elias who just came back from wherever he's been for the last few months, and you have one of the hottest heels in the company right now with Baron Corbin. That said, I think this ends with Elias winning and maybe finally getting to finish the song at WrestleMania.
That'll never happen. Someone else will come out and interrupt him. Another match that's been put together, Aleister Black will be taking on Bobby Lashley.
Black wins. End of discussion. Moving on.
Sweet. Easy peasy. What else we got here? We got the Street Profits defending their Raw Tag Team Championships against Andrade and Angel Garza.
This threw everybody for a loop when it was first announced, because they were like, why? Afterwards, we found out that Ray is sick. We don't know with what, but we know Ray is out for being can't go to do WrestleMania. That probably blew up our little four-way match that we had all been expecting for all these months.
Yeah.
And so they just spun the faction of Andrade and Angel Garza off to do a random tag team match for the titles, because the Street Profits did need somebody to face off against, and there really isn't anybody. So, especially with AOP's injury. So, why not? It should be an entertaining match, that's for sure. That said, they're not winning the titles.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, Street Profits, I think, are in the midst of a decent run for them, and I think it continues.
Okay. So Street Profits hold the big Raw Tag Team Championships after the show. We've got the SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line as well. The Miz and Morrison will be defending them either against the Usos or the New Day. I got a little bit of an inkling that it will be both of them.
I could see it. I really could. But I think because they want to limit the amount of bodies in the arena.
It's true.
I think if this was any other year and any other time, definitely would see a triple threat. But I think the Usos win here.
But Miz and Morrison retain, right?
Miz and Morrison for the titles at WrestleMania.
But they retain, right? But they retain.
I don't think so. I think the Usos win the titles.
You're not allowed to tell me that. You've broken my heart
Then
once
I'm not
today.
really going to not like what I'm about to say.
Oh no.
Because I think because I think the Usos will win it because the Miz turns on Morrison.
Oh no. Does that mean Miz gets a spotlight?
No, it probably means Morrison will.
No. We're gonna have to move on. You're putting bad thoughts in my head. Bad thoughts. What you gonna do? We're gonna move on to what's another match here? Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. One mano y mano.
This should be a good match. This should be a really good match. I think Owens wins because of just the overall arcing story. I think needs Owens to go over Rollins here.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it was any other pay-per-view than WrestleMania, I think Rollins goes over.
Yeah, I think this match could swing either way. I'm not entirely sure because it all comes down to where are they going from here. Is Kevin Owens going from here as, tippy top face, moving on? Is Seth Rollins going as tippy top heel? It comes down to the WWE Championship match. Who's holding the belt? We're gonna see Brock Lesnar versus Kevin Owens feud. We're gonna see Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins feud. And because that future is so uncertain, you can
still do that without one of them winning this match.
It's true, but everything's so up in the air and so uncertain that I don't know. And this match seems sort of so inconsequential. I don't know. There's nothing huge on the line. We're about halfway through our allotted time for this week. That means we're going to go into our entrance theme this week. Josh, what are we playing?
Just the general WrestleMania theme, I guess. Put me on the spot.
Yeah. That's what happens when Grady sleeps in and doesn't prepare enough for the show. We're going to be playing the WrestleMania theme, and that'll be playing for you now. You're back with Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. I'm Grady, he's Josh, and we've still got some WrestleMania to run down. Where do we start next? Let's go to Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match.
I think this will be a brutal match, and I think we will at one point during the match be scared for Edge's life.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I think Edge wins.
Yeah, I think the story of the match is going to be Orton trying to hurt Edge. Based on the stuff Orton's been saying, he's going to try and retire Edge so that he can go be a family man. And so it's going to look really bad, as you say, for Edge. But again, as you say, I agree, I don't think Edge is losing his first match back.
And there's really nobody better to put Edge over than Randy Orton, who, when he cares, is one of the very, very best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he clearly cares with this match.
So I look forward to it, but yes, we will be squeamish and turn away from our monitors and TVs at one point, just hoping it doesn't hit wrong. We've got John Cena versus The Fiend.
This has probably been their best built feud of all the feuds going forward here. Cena and Wyatt have been going at it on the mic whenever they've been in the ring together, and Wyatt is, of course, Wyatt.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. I think this is where The Fiend gets his win back from WrestleMania 31. It was 31 last week, by the way.
Ah, sweet.
All right. And I think Cena takes another long time off.
Yeah, I think John Cena being a part-timer and The Fiend being on the up and up, it feels like all the signs point to The Fiend coming out the winner. Are they going to swerve us and do something completely different just because they can? It's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't know, because some of the matches have been rumoured to be filming in a different location, not necessarily the PC or not necessarily the arena, And one of those, I think, is The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a quote-unquote boneyard match.
Which has never been announced, so
According to WWE.com, the following week on Raw, the Brazen Styles once again mocked the Last Outlaw and challenged him to a boneyard match. So, I don't know whether it is or isn't happening, whether plans are changing.
Yeah, this would definitely help with the number of people have to be in a building thing. If they could do it in like a graveyard or something. I think AJ Styles gets, and as great as he is, and we'll be talking more about him next week, I think he falls to the Undertaker here.
I keep trying to, in my head, come up with a way where AJ Styles wins, and I can't do it.
Yeah, if Shawn Michaels couldn't do it, I don't think AJ can.
The Undertaker, the character and Mark and everyone has been built so undefeatable in the last month or two. He's just taken out people left and right. You know, there's been periods where the character has been built as more human and more beatable, and he's lost matches, especially at WrestleMania and stuff. But at the moment, it feels like his power, I guess in kayfabe, is resuming, and he's getting way stronger again. And I don't know what that's going to lead to in the future, but I think in the short term, it's going to lead to an AJ Styles loss. Possibly to be buried in the boneyard, I don't know. Don't even know what the gimmick of that match is going to be, other than potentially a different shooting location.
I think it would just be funny to see him fighting in a graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot we don't know, but I think we're pretty sure on it being 95% Undertaker, 5% AJ.
Yeah. Well, talking about a match where we know one participant will not win. It's a really bad segue, Grady. The Fatal 5-Way Elimination match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It will be Bayley versus Lacey Evans versus Naomi versus Tamina versus Sasha Banks, with Dana Brooke pulled from the matchup.
Because she's ill. Which is sad, because I wanted to see her at least have a moment during the match where it looked like she might beat Bayley, at least. Because I didn't know it was an elimination match at first, so when I was upset about the her being removed, I thought it was because I wanted that moment where you almost thought she won the title.
Yeah.
And didn't. And that's so yeah, we are sad for Dana Brooke. That said, I think of these 5 people, I do think the title does change hands. I do think that. And I think will go to Sasha.
Yeah, I think
Sasha probably will. I think it will be a case where Bayley and Sasha will be working together for most of the match. They'll eliminate everybody, and Sasha will roll her up real quick and win the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
whether that means that Sasha will turn face as a result or not, I don't know. But I do think that Sasha finally wins a title on a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
that's not the tag team titles that they won in the first Elimination Chamber match for the women.
We'd all been lining up this as a potential Bayley versus Sasha match as a one-on-one option, and it seems like, you know, the other woman got added. Dana Brooke, as much as we love her, had no chance of winning. Tamina's got no chance of winning. Maybe Lacey Evans, but they didn't give it to her last time she went through this, so I wouldn't think they're going to give it to her now. Naomi maybe got the best shot there, but it feels like this is a match where it's going to have 3 eliminations and then potentially our one-on-one with Sasha and Bayley, depending how it's laid out. That's going to be the story regardless. Whether it's the one-on-one match or not, that's the story, which is Bayley versus Banks. And, you go.
Yeah, I think that is the overarching story. Is going to be, at some point, Bayley and Sasha are going to have to turn on each other, at least for the concept of that match.
And then we look over to the Raw Women's Championship, and Becky Lynch will be defending it against Shayna Baszler.
1 year of Becky. Started with the main event of WrestleMania, became Becky 2 belts, lost the belt to Charlotte, before Charlotte lost it to Bayley. thanks to a cash-in, and has had a stranglehold on the Raw women's title ever since. But now she's come up against somebody who isn't intimidated of the man. Somebody who is absolutely crazy, and somebody who is going to beat her at WrestleMania, Shayna Baszler.
I feel like this could be a WrestleMania with a lot of title changes. Because I'm with you again on this one. I think Shayna Baszler comes up from NXT, has been built so well. Seems like this unstoppable force. Absolutely decimated the Elimination Chamber. And in theory, Becky Lynch is going to struggle to hold her own against this person in terms of power level.
Yeah, I think Becky has run her course as the champion. She needs to get away from the titles for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Well, the final Women's Championship match at WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley will be defending her NXT Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair.
This has the potential to be the match of the entire 2 nights. It's sad we have to
too big for one night.
Put quotation marks around match of the night and have to say, well, this could be match of this night, this could be match of this night, but this one could be match of both nights.
Yeah.
Because we don't really know which ones are going to end up on which show for sure. Rhea, I think this is built to absolutely launch Rhea Ripley into the stratosphere. I don't see Charlotte Flair winning the title because I'm not sure what it would do to benefit either her or NXT. But stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you there. I feel like the default outcome, the one that we sort of sit around expecting, is Rhea Ripley to retain. Maybe it's really close, and she just happens to get that little bit of an edge that leads to her getting the victory. But whatever it is, Rhea Ripley will look strong after this match. Win, loss, tie, anything in between.
I could honestly, I think I could see Rhea Ripley pulling out some of her Charlotte's father's old techniques against Charlotte. After all, Ric Flair was the dirtiest player in the game. It kind of would make sense to use some dirty tactics to retain the title.
That's true. But yeah, Rhea Ripley, put your money on her. She's going to the stratosphere. Not as a winning this match kind of bet, as just a future of the women's division. Well, we've got 2 more matches left to get through. Let's talk about Goldberg versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title.
Well, I really hope that this is a decent match. Because I think Roman deserves to win the title in a decent match. I just worry about the stamina of Goldberg.
I thought you were going to go with, I just really hope that Roman Reigns wins this, and it turned into just don't have a bad match, guys. Okay?
That's all I hope. I don't care. Goldberg retaining wouldn't bother me that much. It'd bother me, but not that badly. I just want them to be a decent match. That's all I want from that match.
I think this match is potentially going to be the match that benefits the most from the fact that they are pre-taped. In that, if Goldberg does goof up a jackhammer, or if his stamina is not there, they can take a break, he can get his energy back, and they can reshoot the spot. And I know that's not rich wrestling as it traditionally is. It's not that sort of live exactly as the match goes. But I think they can fix up any sort of big problems that occur during this match.
Well, that's what they used to do with SmackDown when it was taped.
Yeah.
Is they would retape the match if there was a problem with it.
So
yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But we got to get on to the last match as well. The WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar defending against Drew McIntyre.
I think this will be a hard-hitting match. I think this is actually one of those cases where Brock Lesnar actually cares.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to get a really good match. And I do think we're going to have our first Scottish and thus United Kingdom-born WWE champion.
Yeah, well, the pop isn't going to be as massive as it could be, obviously, but I think the WrestleMania moment will proceed ahead as planned. with Drew McIntyre being crowned.
Well, actually, I just have to remend what I just said, because I guess you could consider Sheamus the first United Kingdom-born champion, WWE champion.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was Northern Ireland or Republic of Ireland, so I was just going to skirt over Sheamus.
Yeah, I think he's from Dublin, which would qualify. Yeah, just I think Drew wins, and I think the era of McIntyre begins.
Nice, I'm happy with that. Alright, well, it looks like we are all out of time. It's been great talking to you.
Baby.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRadio, Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio. And next week we bring you our 7th anniversary special where we have 7 different people talking about their top wrestler of the last 7 years. So we'll see you next week with that.